Hey, I am so excited. I have my friend Kim here with me, and we're going to talk a little bit about menopause. Now, if you're at that stage of life, which I entered that stage of life recently, I'm going to be 45 this year, and I didn't have anyone guiding me through menopause because my mom and my brother's wife, who are both a little bit older than me, they didn't go through menopause. So when I was looking for a guide on what's going to happen next, I didn't have anybody. So I was super glad that I got connected with Kim. Kim is an amazing fitness trainer. She also helps people with health and wellness. And when I kind of shared with her some of my menopause issues, we already had a relationship based on my health and the things I was going through. And so when I shared with her my story, she was like, well, there's a couple of things that we could tweak and we could look at. So I'm so glad that you're joining me for this conversation, Kim.
Well, thank you for having me. And how ironic that you're calling on me for menopause because I don't feel like I'm quite old enough. Couple of things about me. I have two older sisters and a mom. My sisters both are like 14 and 13 years older than me. My mom is 92. They all three went through menopause. Guess what? I didn't have anybody guiding me either because everybody's different, everybody's unique.
Yes.
And when I asked my mom the question, she's like, yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I'm like, thanks, Mom. You're a lot of help. So I didn't have that guidance. All I knew were just some of the things that I was going through. And I have to be honest with you, what I experienced was not that bad. I hear a lot of horrific stories. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is probably the way my lifestyle is, my
Mhm.
behaviors are that maybe made my symptoms a lot less worse for me because I really didn't experience some of the craziness. And that's why I'm such an advocate for talking about health in my age. And yes, I'm going to be 58. And yeah, I went through menopause because I want to say, yeah, bring it, bring it. Oh, you're going through menopause? Okay, bring it. Because that should not stop you. That should not stop any woman. I don't like when women use that as an excuse. It's a crutch.
Yeah.
It's a way to solve the problem. And I'm not saying their symptoms aren't real because everybody does go through them, but I think it has a lot to do with health and diet, food, nutrition, behavior, lifestyle.
Well, I love that you said solve the problem. So I want to share with everybody a little bit of my story. If you followed me on social media at all, you know I've gone through this crazy transformation, just implementing my DNA results. Well, when I started having menopause symptoms, they were very extreme. I had some anxiety. I could not fall asleep. I have never struggled with sleep. I could fall asleep anywhere. I was one of those people who was like, "Oh, okay, time to go do the next thing. All right." I could just fall asleep easily. Never really struggled with anxiety or worry or swirling thoughts. I have ADHD, so I always am thinking about something, but it wasn't that like debilitating. So I experienced that. I experienced hot flashes. I've experienced mood swings. And when I started to think about when did those things happen, it happened when I changed some of my supplements that I was taking.
Mhm.
And when I was talking about that with Kim, she was like, "Well, what did you stop taking?" And I said, "Well, I didn't really think that I needed the omega 3s because they're an expensive vitamin and I was looking to like how could I make a savings and I was taking 4 and so I thought, well, maybe I'll just take 1." So downgraded on that and I did have a lot of stress in my life, and I was working an overnight job. So, just a difference in routine. So, not like staying up longer and not having that regular routine. And then the other thing, too, that I had changed was the stress support. That was another supplement that I was like, okay, well, I'm not stressed. So, I'll just like take that out.
Yeah.
Um, and interestingly enough, when we chatted, you were like, oh, those are some of the biggest supports for menopause.
Mhm.
So my observation was I didn't think they were working or doing anything for me. So I dropped them. And that's when I had these breakthrough symptoms.
And that's common with a lot of people because you don't realize how good you're feeling because I think people are waiting. I don't know for like this electric shock system when you're taking
Yeah.
like vitamins and supplements they want to feel this. Some people do have that amazing, you're just feeling. And other people, they don't realize it until they stop. And it's like, oh, never realized this was working. So true story with me is I began going through menopause. I want to say I was probably in my late 40s, and it was just night sweats. That's
Mm,
all it was. And I didn't have any other symptoms other than night sweats. Profusely woke up, just absolutely drenched. I would have to change my clothes. I would change my sheets, but my husband's sleeping next to me, so I can't change that. I would put a towel down, change my clothes. Um, when I was introduced to ID Life and customized nutrition, one of the questions it asks is, do you have, hot flashes, night sweats? And I'm like, yeah. Check that off. And one of the recommendations was menopause support. And I
mm.
began taking that, and that was in 2019. And I began taking menopause support. My night flashes, my night sweats went away. They could be night flashes. They went away, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's a game changer. So that was just one of the supplements. I take omegas all the time. So I have been supporting my gut and my health and my nutrition consistently since 2019. So I do believe why maybe my symptoms were less than maybe other people is because since 2019, prior to me really going through menopause, I was consistently nourishing my body and, clean eating and taking the supplements that I think a lot of the effects that some people experience was a little bit lessened for me.
Yeah.
But, the night sweats was the probably the worst symptom that I
Yeah.
had. When you go through this is what everybody goes through. Everybody,
Mhm.
it's just you just stop your menstrual cycle. That's really what it
Yeah.
is. It comes down to you stopping. Some of the symptoms are the night sweats, the hot flashes, the mood swings. Some people say, oh, it's weight gain. Well, it is weight gain, but you know what? We can blame it on menopause, but we can just also blame it on aging because one, we're losing muscle mass from the
Right.
time we turn 30 and on. And when you hit 40, I mean, your metabolism is slowing down.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it happens to dudes too. They don't go through menopause, but guess what? They experience the same thing. So, when we're experiencing all of this, I just think some of my symptoms were lessened because I've always been on some type of nutritional support
Yeah.
and supplements since 2019.
Now, I think it's interesting that you say this happens to everyone. When I went to my OB and it was a dude and I was like, okay, I don't know how he's going to talk to me about this, but he took time with me and he drew out the cycle of what all women go through.
Mhm.
And I love that he one took time, which is great.
Yes.
That's how doctors should be, like taking
Yeah,
time. And he
exactly.
was like, this is the arc that all women go through, and you're going to naturally see a decrease in your hormone production. And he said, here's the thing: we could give you hormones that will jerk you up to where you want to be, but everything has to come down eventually.
Mhm.
He said, so my best advice for you, and I appreciate that he was coming at it from this holistic perspective, is to learn how to work with what your body is naturally doing.
Yes. Yes.
And I was so thankful for that, and I felt like that was the best advice that anyone has ever given me from
Yes.
a medical perspective is what is your body naturally doing, and how can we work with that? Supportively work with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I love what we do, right? In the DNA and the testing, because I want people to make lifestyle and behavior changes to allow their body to do what it was intended to do. We
Yeah,
were created this way. And it's like, I think,
exactly.
and we talk about this a lot, Trey, just patience is a virtue, right? And I think a lot of people are impatient. They want the results. I want to stop these hot flashes. I want to,
Yeah.
and a lot of this, does stem from nutrition and the gut, your gut, your mental health, your mood issues. We can get into another whole nother time, but MTHFR and DNA and the variants in MTHFR, all of these play a role. And when you understand that,
Mhm.
you can get your body running like a well-oiled machine so that when you do have these glitches, they're not going to be a total breakdown. It's going to be just a simple blip.
So when we talked a little about the vitamins and the support, and there is an assessment, a free assessment that you can take to see what vitamins will help you. It's incredible and right on. Um, but you mentioned your gut health. Now, gut does play a big part with the brain and everything else and our hormones. And it's really that second brain for our body, as I've come to understand. So, what are some things that we can do to ensure that our gut is healthy?
Diet, clean eating and understanding really what food and nutrition is. And then, if you're lucky enough to be in the area and I do free nutrition workshops, we help you identify what is a protein, what is a carbohydrate, what is a fat, how should you fuel your body. A lot of people are robbing Peter to pay Paul. For example, they are running to fat-free, sugar-free, all of these diet foods that are out on the market. And a lot of those things have been stripped of things that we may need, like our natural fats, our healthy fats, to give the appearance that they're no fat and they're healthy for you. And they're subsidized with some other stuff that is just destroying our gut. So we have good guys in our gut, the microbiome, those are the good guys. And we also have the bad guys, and they're constantly in battle with one another. And guess what? The more good guys that you build up and feed, the more you get that army going, the better they're going to be able to attack the bad gut microbiome. So we want to just feed our bodies nutritiously. I mean, I do a regular detox. I do it quarterly, to clean out the filters, your primary filters of your body, starting with your colon, then going to your kidneys, then going to your liver, then restoring your gut microbiome. All of these things play a huge role. That is your body's filtration system. It's like, wouldn't you clean the filter of
Yeah.
your dryer?
Right.
That's the
Well,
same
we do
thing.
spring cleaning in our house,
Yeah,
right? Spring cleaning,
exactly.
fall cleaning, just cleaning out the junk because it just accumulates. And I know I used to think, but I eat pretty well. So, like, I don't need to detox.
Mhm.
But remember when we had all that smoke come over from Canada?
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
I did not even recognize how poor I was feeling from inhaling all those toxins until I did a detox because it was a part of my routine, my
Yep.
quarterly routine. And after the detox, I was like, I feel so good. It's because it's not just the things that we're ingesting, but it's the things we absorb too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And 64% is absorbed through your skin. And if we think back to when we had the lockdown, right? And we had the pandemic, we were afraid. It's like everybody's wiping down everything because we don't want that on. I was having my kids like, take your clothes off in the garage. Don't come in the house, right? Nobody was touching their mail, right? We're touching with tongs. Okay. That is still around,
Hmm.
but we don't wipe down things anymore. The fact that we have plastics, any of our containers, any of our hair products. And I would encourage anybody that's listening to this to go take the free health assessment. It's free, can't get cheaper than that. And second, it's going to tell you things. I mean, when I do it, I hit a score of 88. I'd like to know what your score is going to be. Mine was 88, but it will give you a health score. And when I looked at it, it told me, it's like, oh, you got 100% rated here. That's great. And then it tells you why. But in some of the areas that it told me I had a bad rating was because I answered, I use hair products. I'm sorry, do you use hair products? Okay.
Yes, I do. I have hot pink hair. I'm
Yeah,
using hair
okay.
products.
Right. So you use hair products and you use the dyes and the coloring. It actually will get into detail about the
Mhm.
hair products. These are all toxins in us. And I thought it was crazy when I took my very first health assessment in 2019. It's like, do you use hair products? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's dumb, duh. And then it was like, do you use plastics? And I'm like, yeah. And I kind of like let that go over my head. It's like, whatever. And when the pandemic happened and we were wiping down everything, and then I realized how toxic everything was,
Mm.
it was like, ha ha. It educated me on a lot more. I just assumed we're living in a safe society when in fact
Mhm.
we're exposed to so many things. And as I watch hundreds of people have illnesses that could be prevented, it makes my mission grow even greater to help other people just educate themselves. What they choose to do is another story, but man, just start taking in this knowledge and understanding that everything around us, we're breathing, we're touching, is toxic. Mhm.
So what I'm hearing is, okay, so having that DNA test will unlock whether or not you have genetic markers for MTHFR or inflammation, or if there's energy zaps that you have based on your DNA, and then having that free assessment to unlock what vitamin support is going to be good for you for menopause, for the other things that might be a problem for you, like the inflammation. Because for me, my body is very inflamed. And having that knowledge really helped to put some of those menopause symptoms at bay because it's inflammation based. And then, thirdly, like you're saying, having that detox that you're doing to be able to give yourself that healthy gut, because that's where a lot of our body starts failing because it's not able to go through and give you the good things, the nutrients that you're receiving from food because you have built up toxins in your gut. So
Exactly.
are there any other supportive things that you found to help during that menopause journey? I'm super curious to hear about any products that you know of or maybe workouts that you found. Just curious about those two things.
Well, a couple things, and I'm going to go back to, we're lumping it all under menopause. And I just want everybody, these are symptomatic, not just menopause. And I think
Yeah.
menopause is getting the rap on this. And not saying that, symptoms don't occur and they could be worsened as you're going through menopause, but inflammation, everybody can have it, and it's going to be dependent on your diet. So what are you going to take for that? The supplements and the products, it's going to be a crap ton of water that you should be drinking. It's going to be omegas that you should be taking into your body. It's going to be regular exercise and movement to get your blood circulating, to get the inflammation down, all of those things. What is going to deplete you of energy? Well, it's going to be the bad food that you're eating, the carbohydrates. If you eat, junk food is just the way your body's going to operate. You have to think of your body as a car, right? Do you want it to be like this premier sports car and give it the right type of fuel, or are you going to give it just like, it's the superior performance car and you're putting unleaded gas in it? It's going to run differently. That's the way your body is. So, that's going to affect your energy levels. Supporting products that I take are all the nutrients specific to me, customized to me based on an assessment that I took. And there's only one question in there about menopause. Okay.
Right.
So I just want everybody to understand, and menopause is getting the rap, but it's a lot of other things that it's encompassing.
Yes.
So when you take all of that into consideration, it's going to have an effect on your overall performance. It's like autoimmune. Autoimmune is the umbrella for all of these different things going on, which is
Hmm.
inflammatory diseases, right? But it's going
Yes.
to fall under, they're going to get the bad rap. If I could say one product that probably saved me for menopause and a true symptom of menopause was like the night sweats, was menopause support,
Yeah.
100%. But I've always lived an active lifestyle. I think people should move. Weight training, particularly as you age, get weights in your hand, whether it's going to be weights or your own body weight or some type of bands, resistance training. That's all going to help. All of these things are going to help facilitate
Right.
your overall health.
Well, and I know you say there's no magic pill, potion, or formula, but I also do know that I kind of switched to something really key in the afternoon that's been helping with some of those menopause things, like the cravings and, where my system is kind of sluggish or I'm feeling like I'm a little low in energy. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Glow Getter. People have seen my before and afters, and it's literally helped me to build muscle without much working out. Sorry, Kim. I know I'm on a journey of working out, of falling in love with it. So I agree. I am so thankful for the grace that I've been given from you to go at my own pace. We played badminton yesterday with the kids, which was really fun, but we need to hit the weights tonight. But anyway, back to this Glow Getter. I'd love for you to share a little bit about this incredible formulation and why people are seeing crazy results on it.
Okay, so this is what's really cool. Yes, there is no magic pill, potion, or formula, and I do stand by that. However, there are things that are going to help facilitate you to make you want to do the things that you don't necessarily want to do, like the working out, like staying
Yeah.
away from the cheesecake. Like, there are things that's like, why wouldn't you do things that are going to help you? It doesn't mean you can drink this formula and eat a cheeseburger and fries and sit on the couch all day. It doesn't work like that. So, but are there products that are going to make you feel better or make you want to do the things that you want to do? Absolutely. So Slim Plus, I call it duct tape for your mouth. And basically it is going to help you stay away from those things that maybe gives you food cravings. Hold on, my phone is ringing. That gives you, cravings. It literally does. It has prebiotics in here. And again, we're going to go back to gut, great gut health. Again, you have your bad guys and your good guys, and they're in there battling. Well, man, if you give your good bacteria, gut bacteria, those prebiotics, that's the food. Guess what? That army is the one that's going to win. So when we have the Slim Plus, that's one of the parts of the Glow Getter formula. When we have that, it also has a smidgen, 85 milligrams of caffeine. That's going to give you that boost of energy, right? So you're not going to fall asleep in the afternoon waiting for work to end. Those are the things that you need. Load, I love it. I have all my clients on it. I have my 70-year-old women on it. This is longevity. It is a performance line, fitness line workout. I don't call it a fitness line workout because when you get to my age genre, while I love working out, I know there are people that don't. And I know that people consider gardening a workout, and that's okay. That's where they're at their time in life. But you know what? This load will help them preserve, produce, repair their lean muscle. And as we age, we lose 3 to 8% of muscle every decade, starting at the age of 30. So if I'm going to be 60 in a couple years, right, you're looking at 3 decades, do the math. If we took an average, that's a good, 15% muscle mass and I'm losing. And why is that important? Well, that is anti-aging because the more muscle you have, the more, the better faster your metabolism is going to be. It is your fat loss drug. I tell people it's like the more muscle you have, the less fat you will have because your metabolism you'll burn more calories with more muscle than you do fat is what I'm trying to say. You need it to live. You need it to function. My working out anymore is for functionality. The genre of my clients and their goals of why they want to do this, because they want to be around because now they have grandkids. And guess what? That is my goal for them. It's not to get them into a fitness physique competition. I want them to be around so that they can do badminton maybe with their grandkids, right? That's what we're looking at. So this is really longevity. It is anti-aging, for all the reasons. I have all of my ladies taking that, and it's like at least one time a day. And it's amazing. It's the Glow Getter.
People really are seeing those results. I love that it tastes good too. And I can take it anywhere with me. I'm actually finishing it right now. But, we've talked a little bit about the DNA test, knowing some of those markers to look for in inflammation and energy, anti-aging, whether or not you have MTHFR. We've talked about detoxing, that healthy gut, because if you don't have a healthy gut, then you're really going to start to feel those symptoms. And then those supportive products with the vitamins being customized for you along with the Glow Getter. I did want to say one more thing that I think is key is the community element. I have found with anything that I've ever done, it's all about community and all about having that support, because I don't know, raise your hand if you've started and stopped things, and it's so hard if you don't have that community and that support. So it's so common for us to experience the menopause. Everyone's going to go through it and everyone's going to face it, but if we can face it together,
100%. 100%. Well,
that's going to make the difference.
Well, and the Glow Getter formula was actually it came up. It was, created by a woman, right? She discovered it. There are 2 products that we had out there. She happened to mix them together and started tracking her results, got amazing results. And what happened out of that is some of the symptoms and some of the things that she was experiencing, they're common issues.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to be menopause or you're losing muscle or you're sluggish in the afternoon or you're ready to, chew off your arm in the afternoon and the cravings. All of us experience that. So when she started getting results and she started sharing that with other people, every woman out there was like, I want it, I
Yes.
want it, I want
Yes.
it. And banding together and having that support and sharing our own experiences. Because like I said, my experience with menopause is going to be very different than yours, and I may not be able to relate with some people, but there will be somebody else out there within the community that's going to say, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I know what I did. And a lot of it, again, stems down to exactly what we're talking about. It's food and nutrition and fueling your body the correct way and understanding the signs and then what you can do about it. And when you have that is customized specifically for you, that is your body's roadmap. It's
Right.
like, open it up, read the manual, follow the instructions. How many people, by a show of hands, have instructions and they look at something that seems pretty easy and it's like, I know how to work this, and they don't read the instructions? And then it may not be set up quite right. And that's where I think we're just living life. And it's like, oh yeah, well, it's just my hormones, or it's just menopause, or it's just this, or my mother always had gut issues, and we always blame it on that one thing. But if you really uncovered and discovered what it was specifically for you and what you could do about it, wouldn't it be nice to not have that thing that's like getting in your way?
Exactly. And so I'm so glad that you joined me today to share a little bit about the solutions that we can find for menopause, for our issues. And I'm really encouraged because I think this is going to help a lot of people. And if you'd like to connect more to talk about your symptoms, what can be done personally for you, we would love to connect with you. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.